Hey, what's up, guys? Today we'll talk about how to unlock free to play, how to get perks. So if you're new here, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment to support the channel. So first, you need to log in and play and get your Primo Lens. That's free to play. So this will not be a video in-depth guide how to get Primo Lens, but yeah, this is one of the ways. So let's say you get farming Primo Gems, so you better start now. Start as soon as you can. Like
Show me your move.
Let's hope you'll put up a good fight.
Keeps in the course.
some
One with nature.
gems.
Chop, chop, chop. Fallen leaves. Adorn my night.
You're getting your Primo Gems. Go to the wishing section and then you pull for her. So let's say this is Skirk, so you need 90 pulls to guarantee a 5-star, but that 5-star is not guaranteed to be the featured 5-star banner. So there's also, so it will be 50-50. If you didn't get Skirk at the first 90 pull, the next 90 pull or the next 5-star that will drop within the 90 pull will be Skirk. So there's also a soft 50, usually starts out around like 75 on average. Usually 75, usually average 77, 78, 79, 80. So that's it. So that's how you get Skirk and free to play, yeah. So you don't have to spend any money. So like right now, I'm free to play. So I've been farming for months, on and off, but not really like seriously like it's a job. Ooh. Oh yeah. Ayaka again. Yeah, so I think they dropped this banner for Skirk LOL. So maybe within 14 days from now, I will get Skirk. So that's it. See you next video. Turn it back.
I will have order. Solidify.
Dare to mess with me? Ears of the storm. Delve into death. The wind knows me.
Awesome to personalities. FromSoft still does their best to provide you with a few tools to succeed though, such as a guaranteed purchase line for merchants that will let you revive once per round. This is only in shops when you're playing solo. I did find some success playing solo, and I have beaten the majority of Night Lord bosses this way. But it's tough and borders on challenge card territory, something I think the average player would find too punishing and unfun. If you do insist on playing this way, I highly encourage you to at least learn all the bosses in a co-op setting first. But yeah, overall, I had fun with all three of these different ways of playing. It took me about 15 hours to get the credits for the first time, but I think that's on the faster side, and I suspect the average player will take somewhere around 25 hours, if not longer. Now I've been sprinkling my thoughts and critiques throughout this whole video, but let's spend some time to really get down to what I see as the bigger problems and disappointments I have with this game. First, and this is the biggest one by far, randomization and variety across the board is lacking. This takes a few different forms, but the main one is the map itself. Basically, with the exception of the shifting Earth world events, there is one map for the entire game. The only thing that changes between runs is that most of the points of interest get swapped around with each other. Like, if it was a Fort 1 match, might be a church the next one. Other points of interest like spirit streams, sexual trees, scarabs, ever jails, and central castle don't ever swap around. And of course, the train itself remains the same. Now, none of this is inherently a bad thing, but it does lead to runs feeling pretty similar each time, especially if you're like me and figure out strats like how it's effective to always hit the castle as soon as possible. This is compounded by the points of interest themselves being incredibly static. Like if you get a fort, there are exactly two pinnacle bosses, a Golem or Crystallian, that you can encounter here, each with corresponding enemy layouts. Some areas are even worse. Like if you get to the Sleep Ruins area, you will encounter the same room bear every time, no matter what. What this means is that after you encounter an area for the first time, you pretty much know exactly what to expect next time you see it. The locations on the map might shift slightly, but the areas themselves are incredibly static. This extends to the shifting Earth biomes as well. So yes, they do change up the map, but these areas are also very static. Same locations, same enemies, same bosses, same rewards even, every time. That's why I said they're very fun to figure out at first, but less so you can encounter them and basically know exactly what to do. Now, I'm of two minds about this. On one hand, as I said, yes, this all feels a little too predictable for a roguelike. On the other hand, this does relate to classic FromSoft level design being very deliberate and meet boss baselines. So I'm sure I would have liked more. What we left with is super thoughtful, even if it is static. And on top of that, because you know exactly what to expect, to refine your strategies for specific areas, will also be able to better gauge how long a specific area will take to clear based on house runs. Regardless, the runs do feel too similar to you. And I found myself slipping into patterns of doing the same thing each run, taking similar routes, even when some locations are different. Not only does this get samey, it also makes the game easier and easier to figure out what works. It used to repeat, but yes, I'm pretty well intent on the first one.
Ascension WoW is a custom Warcraft famous with you dispatch classes with custom of which it's you started with
the off lesser point, and that's consequence of this design. I think my ideal version of this game, there would be a separate map for each night mode rather than one map for all. I really think they could have been crazier than making everything one grid. Sure, we have a shifting grid that turns one corner of the map into a swamp, but I feel like this game would have benefited more from the map where the whole thing is a swamp, or volcano, or storybound. I recognize this has been for a while though, so that we just don't have to do this to give this the game. Side note, it is wild how infrequent shifting group events are after you complete the game. I think I got only one after hours and hours of runs, so that feels off to me, especially when it's one of the few things that has meaningful variety to the game. Maybe I was just lucky though. My issues with limited randomization and variety also extend to the upgrades you can acquire mid-run. But since I already said most of what I wanted to say for the video on this topic, I'll just remind you of explaining again further compounds the lack of variety I just mentioned in the now. To be clear, I think the game does deliver a very solid experience that maintains that FromSoft quality we're used to. If you're just aiming to hit credits, it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's mostly after that point, when you try to be playing it as this replayable roleplay, that you'll probably notice these things soon, especially since there's no extra mode, so harder difficulty options can cover up the finishing the game. I really hope they add some hard mode or maybe a chaos mode that drastically increases the boss pool of each location. Like maybe you can find a room there or a dragon on top of the fort instead of with the night mode and elemental weakness system. It's also kind of strange to me. It's basically you like it on game. You can see the elemental weakness each night mode before selecting it around the moment. If you use a weapon with the corresponding element, the element you deal a lot more damage. You also get extra elemental staggers with their own unique animation. Keep in mind, these elemental staggers are in addition to the normal staggers. Between that and the extra damage, you can absolutely steamroll the Night Lords if everyone has the relevant damage type. Like truly, victory is a foregone conclusion if you do this. But hey, that seems like a fair reward for getting lucky with the weapon drops, right? Well, maybe, but my issue is that you can actually get them basically every time. You see, ruins and camps on the map are often marked with a corresponding elemental icon. This tells you what type of elemental threat you'll be dealing with, but it also tells you the type of reward you'll get. That means if you go to a fire camp, you're guaranteed to get a fire weapon. And even though it might only be blue tier rarity, all you need to do is run over to one of the unchanging mine locations and defeat a very easy mini-boss, get a smithing stone that allows you to upgrade it to purple tier. here. A purple weapon with the correct element is more powerful than a legendary orange weapon. And again, with how this system is set up, you can get one of these pretty much every run with very little effort. Now, on some level, I like the idea of planning ahead and being strategic with your weapon choices to counter a boss, but the numbers here feel off. And maybe I'd be more okay with this. There's some more fire difficulty option.
You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with the area.
This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with the area.
Error.
You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with the area.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar.
Is the ability to not get lost some sort of talent?
You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with the area.
Rebooting.
You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with the area.
Is the ability to not get lost some sort of talent?
This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with the area.
Rebooting.
There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
Is the ability to not get lost some sort of
You
talent?
might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with the area. get a guide if you're not familiar with the area.
Rebooting.
You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with the area. You might want to get a guide if you're not familiar with the
Is
area.
the ability to not get lost some sort of talent?